Yeah.
Hey, y'all, welcome to the Southern Fried Podcast.
So good to see you, Rob. How you doing? And all of our listeners, hope you're well today.
Oh, it's a beautiful day today. It's a Sunday. It's even June 2nd. We have survived till June. Can you believe that?
I know it. Another month is gone, and we're now into June. June bug, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, don't be talking bad about them June bugs. Hey, Dave, I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead and ask me, brother.
If you saw a little dung beetle rolling a little pile of poop up a hill, would you help him roll it up to the top of the hill for half of it?
Well, I suppose I would.
Oh, I figured you wouldn't. I figured you'd be kind of greedy about it. You probably want the whole ball.
No, man. I mean, give me a bad character reference here now. We're Southern gentlemen, right?
Well, we'll have to ask one of these women folk that, because most of them don't have a good reaction.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, it's good to be back with our listeners, and we appreciate all your support. We've had a lot of comments. We've loaded some promos up for some upcoming programs. Robert, I'm excited about them. We've got, just before we get into this short video, we've got two that are just outstanding. And if you go to our Facebook page or YouTube, I know on the Facebook you can like and follow. We appreciate all those that have done that. The page has been growing. We've got next week from Tuesday, we will have an interview called with a lady, and it's called Conversation with a Southern Girl Living in the Desert. And she just happens to be my sister, my baby sister, and she has left the beloved Southland. She's now living in the desert. Oh, that hurts so bad. I miss her so much. Hey, I'm happy for her. She's got some great things going on. For those that know her that are watching this, she's a wonderful girl, a wonderful woman, and so she's just a hoot. She's got a lot of experiences and stuff, and we're going to be covering her Southern upbringing and things she thinks about that. It's her interview. Of course, I am a brother, so I do know a few things, so I could drop a few bombs in. Nah, won't do that to you, sister. She's going to talk about, well, maybe I'll let you do that, Robert. And then she's going to talk about things she misses about the South. When you go away, you miss, you realize what you miss about being in the South. And then she's going to talk about her life in the desert and what that's like, and the differences between the two. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And then in a couple of weeks, we have been blessed to have had brought to us a lady that I've worked with for a long time. She, in another many years ago, befriended a Korean war veteran and POW. And if I remember her telling me this correctly, it was covered in the local news 20-something years ago. And she befriended him, and he was the first person that he had ever shared his story. And so he is now deceased, and God bless him, his family, and his memory and what he went through. She's going to come, though. She was given firsthand account from him of what he went through, and she recorded those things. She wrote an article, and she's going to come share that with us on the program. I can't wait. She's very passionate about this. She wants to get his story out, but hey, she's got a story too. She's a part of this now, and she was so just blessed to know that we wanted her on the program. We've got some other programs coming up. We hope to have a farming program. I say hope. We're going to have a farming program in the future, Rob, talking about the American farmer. There's so much going on with the American farmer, and you live near and have family that are American farmers, and so we're hopeful that we can bring someone on from that group and just talk about things that are going on, which is affecting the American farmer. And there's many, many more things These are just some of the ones that are really near. We're also going to have a sports segment. We hope to record that. We're going to do on another program, not this one. We're going to be talking about the Atlanta Falcons, and when Cowboy Cook, our friend Cowboy Cook, comes in, he's a third part of this crew. He'll be covering the dreaded Dallas Cowboys. We're going to do a pick 'em. So there'll be a program where Cowboy Cook joins us, and we're going to do our picks for the season for the Falcons and the Cowboys. So if you're a sports fan and you don't agree with our picks, email us, text us, whatever. We get your number, whatever. Let us know. I think they even get the messenger. And then another program, another sports segment will be coming soon. Cook just happens to be an Alabama fan as well. And me and Rob, of course, are Georgia fans. And we're going to do a pick 'em on the season for the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs. So look forward to those things. We'll have news about that on the Facebook page as we get closer to those things, and send us your picks as well. We'd love to hear those. We're not scrolling through a lot of numbers and trying to see how the Cowboys did against this particular team 20 years ago and every time they played them. We're just going with what we feel for the season and do our picks. I kind of like that, Robert. That's fun to do. We're all in fantasy football leagues for NFL anyway. And you can see I've got my new Falcons jersey on for Bijan Robinson. I am a Falcons fan.
Well, I'll go ahead and go on record here. I am not a Dallas fan.
Well,
and I'm going to be voting with my heart. Okay?
So this is not a head vote. It's a heart vote. So
yeah, the same thing with Bama. Of course, Bama's got a new head coach and all that. I don't figure they're going to win about a game and a half this year. If they look.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying.
Robert, we didn't plan to do this, but because since you went there, before we get into our program, by the way, our program tonight is called, and some people have already kind of got squeamish on it, but it's called Gnats and Sweet Tea. Gnats and Sweet Tea. We're going to go there, and we kind of talked about some of this for another program, but I can't wait, Rob. You've told me this story about wearing a Georgia hat into the state of Alabama. I think we got to cover that. That is just too good to let lay out. And it will go right into the Gnats and Sweet Tea. This is perfect lead in.
Oh, okay. So I spent some time living in North Alabama.
Bless your heart.
It's one of the scariest places on earth. Oh my gosh, it was scary. But anyway, I went down to this town that was close to us, and I wasn't thinking about it. I was grabbing me some groceries, and I went to the Walmart. And I had on my Georgia hat. I didn't think not a thing about this, okay? Not a thing. So I walk into Walmart, and this is in Alabama, and this old guy's looking at me. I mean, he's giving me the stink eye. And he's got his wife with him, and he looks like he's about 70 years old. And he says, and I just kept on. So I'm trying to ignore him, but he's getting right up there. And finally, I'm starting to go past him. He goes, I just want you to know that's got to be the ugliest hat I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, okay. And he doesn't stop. That thing is ugly. I don't see how somebody can put that on their head. It's so ugly. Fine. And he just kept on. And he said, they should even let you in the store with that hat on.
By the way, what store were you in, Robert?
Walmart.
Go figure. I just figured.
You wear anything at Walmart. So anyway, I get enough. It's gonna happen even to a nice guy. Oh, that's an ugly hat. And I said, well, let me explain to you about my hat. He said, okay, I want to hear this. Okay, fine. This hat, you're right. It might be ugly. It might be, but I can always take this hat off and put on another hat if I choose to. You stuck with that ugly face for the rest of your life. And his eyes got about that big around. He's like, oh, and his wife just died laughing. And then he got to laughing, and she said, yeah, go ahead. Say something else about him. Say something else about somebody's hat. Why don't you? Go ahead, do it. I want you to know that old cuss walked over me, hugged my neck. He said, I love you. He had tears running down his face. He was laughing so hard. And I got sick, you know. So Alabama people and Georgia people can get along. Even if they're not related.
Oh, boy.
Throw that out there.
You went there.
Yeah. But I went there in fun. So all you people over in Alabama, you know, you and your cousins and your sisters and your uncles, nieces, and cousins, I love all of y'all. Even if y'all pull for an elephant. Y'all gonna have to explain that to me one day.
Moving right along before we get in too deep. You know, Rob, our program tonight is called Gnats and Sweet Tea, and somebody might say, "What in the world does that have to do with each other?" Well, they're both Southern traditions, and gnats are everywhere. But however, there is this somewhat imaginary line somewhere out there called the gnat line. And I've always heard it said, I never hear it about being above the gnat line. It's always below the gnat line. Maybe that's because I'm around people who have traveled into this mysterious land where gnats are roving armies that attack every living thing without mercy. So, first of all, Robert, you live well below the gnat line, and I live well above the gnat line. In fact, we're hundreds of miles apart. You grew up below the gnat line. You can explain that in a minute, and left for a while and came back. You escaped. We'll call it escape. Then you went back home. I guess you missed the gnats. I guess you missed, you're being with your family there of gnats. I don't know, but you went back below the gnat line. You're now living there. But I want to just talk about that for a second, and I want to share a story about my first known visit below the gnat line that I really recognized the gnats. And so I tell us about where you are generally, not exactly, and just tell us about this whole idea of where the gnat line is. Where is the gnat line? I'm gonna slide out and just and listen for a second.
Okay. Well, the gnat line is like just above Macon, Georgia, and it runs, just to the north of it. It kind of runs like a little smiley face through there. If you up in North Georgia looking down, you see a smiley face because you're above the gnats. And if South Georgia look up, you see a frowny face because you're right in the middle of the gnats. I'm way down here in southwest Georgia. You can look one way, spit in Alabama, look the other way, spit in Florida. I am right in southwest Georgia. And the funny thing is, Dave's right there. Aren't you like in northwest Georgia? You can spit one way, spit in Alabama, spit the other way, spit in Tennessee. I can't hear a word you're saying.
I was so far away from you. I had to spit first.
I understand.
But I can. So where is the gnat line, man? Where is the gnat line? Tell me.
You got to do a better job of listening to that. It's just north of Macon. I just went over the whole smiley face and the friendly face.
That doesn't tell me anything. I want to know. I heard that. I want to know if there is on the ground somewhere north of Macon a place that is marked on the ground that says gnat line. Tell me if it's
an imaginary line. It's a lot like the Mason-Dixon line. It's kind of imaginary. But see, I think it should start right there at that gnat line, the Mason-Dixon.
Okay. Yeah.
And then start back up again just to the south of Jacksonville.
Okay.
All right? Because y'all people ain't paying your dues. If you go claim to be Southern, you got to put up with these stupid gnats. Otherwise, you haven't earned the privilege of calling yourself Southern if you don't have to put up with gnats. That's it. You're not. You're not there yet. You have to put up with gnats.
Okay, I want to tell you my foray into below the gnat line. I know I did as a kid, but I don't really remember any kind of problem. I mean, we went to South Georgia a couple of times. I think we got family lives down there, and we drove through the gnat line to get to Florida, and I just don't remember. Maybe I was asleep in the car. But however, one time, and we were traveling, and we decided it was we were going to be at a church that Sunday evening, but Sunday morning we didn't have a designated church we were going to visit, so we decided to pull off the road and visit a church. It was getting close to church time on a Sunday morning. We were traveling, and we seen an exit, got off of there, and pretty soon found a church that we could go. It was really close to the interstate. And I should have been a little leery because I realized when I saw the sand, most of their yard, there was no grass. It was a lot of sand. And that was I was in that coastal plain or whatever you want to call it kind of thing. Anyway, so we got out, went in, everybody was real friendly. They welcomed us in, great little church. I was really enjoying it. They had some singing and different things. And of course we heard preaching, but somewhere as we started into the service, I realized that I was being attacked by something. I didn't know it was gnats at the time. And I felt something do a kamikaze mission on my ear. And I was trying not to, I thought, what was that? I reacted to it. I'm trying to get this thing out of there. And literally within seconds, I realized not only did I have them attacking my ear, they've now attacked my nose and my mouth. And I got to admit, some of the gnats made it into my mouth in the middle of church. And I look over at my wife to see if she is being attacked or if it's just a solo on me. And so I'm sitting here trying to be respectful, but I'm smacking gnats away from my face and my ears. I decided to kill a few. I figured if I killed a few, it would be okay. No, they brought reinforcements, dude. They brought reinforcements. And this went on the rest of the service. And I'm looking around, and I guess either the gnats ignored the congregants other than us, or they were just used to it. But for the rest of the service, I was under a full-fledged attack by the gnats, and I could not wait to get back in the car and get the air conditioning going and recover from this traumatizing event that I thought I was going to be in church worshiping the Lord, and we did. But I didn't realize that the demon gnats had came in to disrupt my good worship that morning, or try to. I worked real hard to still get a good service in. And so I told my wife, I said, we must be below the gnat line. She said, what's that? I said, what we just experienced. No, by the way, she was fighting with it too. I think she was just handling it a little bit better than I was, being the lady she is. I was ready to get going, brother. But unfortunately, we were headed south further below the gnat line. Now, That was the first time that I remember, that's been a long time ago, that I remember coming in contact with gnats. You live with them, brother. You live with them.
Oh, yeah. Look,
tell me about living in a... Go ahead.
That's what everybody thinks. Everybody down here is so religious. It's because we're fanning gnats all the time. It's, they think we're all religious because of that. Get these gnats away from me. That's all it is. Look, it's not that they bite. It's not that they do anything like that. They don't bite. They're completely harmless until they get in your ear or up your nose or in your mouth. And that's, the worst thing about the whole situation. Y'all think about a yard dog laying out there. Where do you think the gnats congregate? Right up under his tail, And then the next time you turn around, and you got a face full of gnats. Now, where do them gnats just come from? You don't think about stuff like that until it's happening. And once it's happening, you can't unhappen it, But literally, these little suckers will burrow, try to dig into your ear If you try to do anything, you bend over, you got something in your hands to work with. Oh, they know. And it's poof, right into your ears and they're buzzing everywhere. You're hitting yourself with the wrench you got in your hand trying to swat them off. So I'll go ahead and let y'all know, yes, I'm both. I'm going to show y'all what I wear outside. And I wear this for a reason. It's beautiful. Oh, it looks horrible. But that's all right. Because you know what? I don't like gnats in my ears. So, you pull something like this over your head, like that, pull that down. You put your sunglasses on to keep them out of your eyes. Got your hat on, keep your forehead from sunburning. Then you pull that up like that. And guess what? Gnat free. And y'all think I'm joking. This is how I cut my grass. Enough.
I hope that when you take a break from mowing and you drive down to get a soda at the store, that you take some of that off before you walk in.
Oh, heck no, man. I don't even go to the store when I got that on.
You go get the sweet tea, right?
That's right. Sweet tea. Yes. I didn't call you sweetie. I said sweet tea.
Before we talk about sweet tea, we just found out something, Robert, about gnats that we did not know. Oh. And it's really, we're so excited. And you're going to think, well, y'all are silly. We can't wait. Tell them what we're going to be next May. This is a ways away. We just missed it. We did not know such a thing existed.
We found out today in the big city of Camilla, Georgia. They have a festival called the Gnat Day Festival. We are going.
This might be a live remote from the Gnat Day Festival. I'm telling you. I know they've got activities and games and things. And my question is, Rob, though, am I going to have to walk around the Gnat Day Festival looking like you just looked with all that gear on?
If you don't want gnats in your ears, yeah. And look, people don't realize, gnats are an important part of Southern tradition, okay? And I really do believe during the Depression era down here in the South, gnats help provide protein for a lot of people. If they ate outside, they ate a few gnats along. They got to be full of protein. They survive.
I was wondering when they have church dinners, if they ever do them outside. No. I mean, I just don't see how that could happen during the gnat season. I just don't see how that could happen.
No, not unless they put a lot of pepper in their pepper cider. That's the only way, dude.
They're vicious, man. They're really vicious. I'd love for our listeners to contact us and tell us about their experiences with gnats or what they do to prevent them or work, not maybe prevent them, but to be able to endure against the onslaught of the gnats. Well, and if you got your sweet tea outside with you, Rob, I guess you'd have to have a lid on it or something because it's going to get just filled up with some extra protein.
Well,
and all that sugar that goes into sweet tea, good Southern sweet tea, would attract a lot of gnats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and believe me, if it's sweet tea, if it's Southern, it's sweet tea.
That's right.
You can't have unsweet tea in the South. It don't work. We don't believe in that.
That goes against your religion, right?
Yes, I believe God will strike you down if you try to give a Southern unsweet tea.
So one of the questions I've been asked when we talk about sweet tea, people that are not, I think, Rob, this might be the way to find out who's not a true Southerner. This might be one of the tests. We're going to have a future program on what it means to be a Southerner and characteristics, geography, birth, place, all that stuff. But it may be if someone has to ask, how sweet is the sweet tea? What would you tell them, Robert?
Go back north. Get your butt back up to St. Louis or something like that. That's fire. You don't belong around here. You ain't from here, that's for sure.
It can't be sweet tea down in the South unless it's really, really sweet.
And I don't care how you sweeten it. Some people down here have diabetes. They probably got it from drinking sweet tea. Okay? So now they can't put sugar in their sweet tea. But then they go out and they put 5 cups of Splenda in it so it tastes just as sweet as it ever did. But it's got to be sweet.
It's got to be sweet.
Yes.
One of my Bible teachers was from Philly. If he happens to have stumbled across this video, I love you, brother. But he was from Philadelphia, and coming south, and it's just funny to hear his take on all the sweet tea. But he told me, and even if you didn't know he was from Philly, you would know something wasn't right, because he said, "Oh, I just like tea the way it is. I don't put nothing in it." I'm like, "Come on, man. You gotta make it sweet tea, man." I mean, he just drank it straight like that. Like he's from England or something,
Why not just drink water? Just drink water.
So
now you drink it unsweet tea. Now you're drinking bad tasting water. Just drink water.
So if you like coffee too, I like coffee. So do you drink more coffee or do you drink more sweet tea, or is it pretty even? You do about equal?
I think it depends. If I'm working outside a lot, I like my iced sweet tea out there. I like it, my cool sweet tea. Yeah. If I'm monkeying around inside the house, I'd rather just have coffee. I drink early coffee.
One of the things that drives me crazy too is when you ask for sweet tea and you're at a restaurant, and you can pick them. I mean, pick them. Even if they get the sweet tea right, there are some chains that have pretty good sweet tea. Mm-hmm. There are some restaurants, even some of the fast food, through the window kind of places, they have a pretty good sweet tea. But the problem is they never put enough ice in the sweet tea, because it's got to be really cold too. And they'll put just a little bit of ice in there and it melts it. You can tell the sweet tea's fairly fresh. It's warm. And they just put a little bit of ice and it melts, and you pull away and it's really good sweet tea, but it's not cold enough, at least for me.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are like that. We're going to have to do a show one time here before long on where you get the best sweet tea from.
Yeah.
Speaking on that. Yeah, whether they put enough ice in it or not. I don't like too much ice in mine, but I also don't like it hot or warm. I like it cold, and I can handle that. But some of these places, you drive up there and you get your sweet tea and you put it in your little cup holder and you go down the road and you go, and it's unsweet, or it don't have nowhere near enough sugar, or it just don't like it. They throw one bag, a little bitty bags, and 10 gallons of water or something. It don't taste right. And you just throw it. But some of them actually have good sweet tea. And I'm thinking of one right now that has really good sweet tea. But I don't want to mention it yet.
I understand. One of the things is in the South, all the church events have sweet tea. Every church event, there's always somebody make sure that we have a couple of gallons of good sweet tea. Yeah. And to tell you how we are in the South, when we have even like work functions or something, when they send tea in they'll send a whole bunch of tea, but they only send 1 gallon of unsweet. There's a few in every crowd, So, but yeah, I love sweet tea. I've always loved it, and that's a good Southern tradition. And I don't know if there's anybody up above the Mason-Dixon line knows how to have good sweet tea. I've never found it to be true. It's you gotta be South. You gotta be in the old Southland to have good sweet tea. I got a question for you, Rob. Though, being below that net line, even though you've got that sweet tea in a cup, you're out there working and everything, there is that brief moment when you pull down that covering you got on your mouth and you're trying to get a drink of sweet tea. Are you telling me that you're 100% sure that no gnats fly in your mouth while you're doing that?
Well, no, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there are. Look, I'm also going to say one thing in favor for gnats. Okay, having grown up here in the South, I think I'm uniquely qualified. For growing up my whole childhood below the gnat line, you don't get this good looking without eating a few gnats. I mean, come on. It just don't happen. Look, this beautiful hair. Y'all want a good head full of hair? Eat some gnats.
So
Good.
how do you? I mean, so everybody that goes around with that gear on throughout the day that you were wearing, wherever you go
No, I'm
outside.
probably unique in that.
Well, so how does someone speak in conversation out on the street in your area? How do they talk with those gnats flying in their mouth?
It's like this. It's like, hey, how you doing? Uh, y'all doing all right today? Uh, yeah, gnats sure are bad today. You know, you know, you have to learn how to speak gnat. My granddaddy used to call it.
Speak.
Yeah, like, hey, how you doing today? Y'all doing all right? Yeah, how's your mama and them? You know?
Well, wait a minute, because you've gave me a whole new image here, though. I get it. I dig it. I agree. But some of them old boys is gonna have tobacco in their mouth.
Oh yeah. Oh, them boys don't care. They just chew it right up.
I was just thinking that it might get spit out on you, if they're spitting all them gnats out of their mouth.
Well, you're blowing up. You're not blowing out. You're not going.
Oh.
You're going. And if it gets up their nose, we don't care. that's officially their problem. It's not our problem.
So how long does the gnat season last? Is it just till the first freeze, or?
Yeah, till it starts cooling down. I mean, they'll generally be pretty bad till October. We got it for a while. They ain't going nowhere.
So you're getting right in the thick of it right now.
Oh yeah. Yes, and you can't even take a good picture of the little things because they ain't no size to them, but they're loud. That's the thing. This little bitty gnat that you barely can see when he's flying towards your ear sounds like a B-52. You just hear him coming, and you try to swat him before he gets there, but you don't ever get him.
That does bring back some memories. I do remember that sound you made. I give you extra credit for making that sound effect of the gnat. But I gotta say though, up here our way, we've been inundated because the release of and you laughed at me the other day because I think I said it cicada instead of cicada. But we got the trillions and trillions of cicadas that are all around us right now, and they're buzzing from the trees pretty good, buddy. And they're all over the place. I mean, they do kamikaze missions as well on sidewalks, windshields, you name it. Yeah, even in your mouth,
Cicadas can't fit in your ear or up your nose. And let me tell you something. If you get a cicada in your mouth, you're going to spit it out. Okay? I mean, these things are pretty big, Dave. It's not like a little gnat going through. This thing hits your mouth, you're going to be like, you're going to spit it everywhere. I mean, oh, dude. That would be like, imagine one of them things flying up your shorts. That would be amazing. If you were outside in shorts and one of these cicadas flew up your shorts pants leg, could you imagine how much hopping and jumping you would do to get that thing out? That would be amazing. I would love to watch that. Yeah. With someone else, not to me.
Yeah, someone else. Well, we'd love to know if our listeners just when this video post in the comments, we'd love for you to like and follow us in the comments. Share it out, forward it out, to folks, and give us your impressions of gnats and cicadas, and let us know. Let us know how do you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 Robert's anti-gnat outfit that he has there, his PPE for working among the gnats. We'd love to know. Tell us how he did there. That's the first I saw that. You've described it to me, I when you were describing it to me, I got to be honest. I had this idea that was like something like a beekeeper would use. And I swear that's what I was thinking about when you said that.
And just for reference, for those of you who are fighting gnats with me, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, where did he get that?" This is a fishing stocking. It's made to go over your head and over your ears and on your neck. Keeps sunburn off too. It's not that hot. It's very lightweight, breathes, and it keeps the gnats out of your ears and your mouth. And just get you a pair of sunglasses to wear with them. It keeps sort of out of your eyes, and sometimes they get behind the sunglasses if it gets too thick out there. But do what you can do. But these are available at most any fishing store. So,
all right, one last thing on gnats in your area is, and I don't know about them. I mean, I really don't. Are they more prevalent in certain areas near water, or does it matter? What really do they? Where do they congregate? Just everywhere, or is it?
I think it's everywhere, but anywhere there's livestock, it seems to be like a more and more and more of them. And maybe it's just because you notice them more because you know what they're flying around then.
Yeah.
And then they're getting up in your face and stuff. You're like, but yeah, I'm not going to go into any further detail on that. Y'all figure it out on your own. Y'all big people, y'all figure that
out. Well, what a combo, gnats and sweet tea.
Yeah.
So both Southern traditions, without a doubt.
All right, y'all tell us what you think about your sweet tea. And for you Yankees that live down here that claim to be Southerners that drink unsweet tea, go ahead and give us your votes out and your call out on that.
I'd love to hear it.
And we love you guys, and God bless you, y'all. Hey, like and follow if you like it, and come on, let's help us rock this thing on out.
Absolutely. Hey, Rob, it's been good. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next program, and we hope all of our listeners will stay with us and send us ideas as well. Things you'd like to see us cover. We're willing to cover about anything, really.
Yeah.
And we've got some good programs coming up. We're proud of that, and we want to thank our guests who are going to come on ahead of time. And we look forward to sharing that with you. This is exciting, and it's fun to just get on here and talk about Southern traditions and Southern things. We talk all things Southern, and we appreciate you for listening in.
Yes.
Take us out, Rob.
All right. God bless y'all. And we like to get on here, joke, cut up. We like to do some real stuff too. So keep it real, keep it safe, and keep it Southern. Love you guys, and God bless you.